Hi everyone, Kat here, your favorite ginger bibliophile. Hope you're all doing really well, and I hope you're in the mood for the weirdest, essentially TBR ever. Cause yeah, I'm not even gonna try to pick that up. I will hurt myself. And well, if you need a puppy, he's being a sleepy little boy. So, and I just realized I kind of shot myself in the foot, cause that pile is upside down. Oh, this isn't nice. So let's see. Can I pick these up and flip them to the other way without dropping them all? Because that is a big flipping pile. Because these are almost all completely off of my TBR. So, like I said, this is the weirdest TBR that I have ever done. Because this is, oh, Fleet. Ah, it's trying to make me do stuff that I don't. The Booktuber name tag that was created by Aaron Read a Book, and I was tagged by several people for this. I am just now finally having time to get around to it. But I will link all those channels down below, and I will be staring at my phone for the questions because, oh my goodness. And it's fun because some of these ones that are on here are actually people that I follow, some I know of, some I never heard of. Just what this tag is basically, here's a channel with a really cool name. Find a book that fits that name. So, yep. And yes, you might recognize the outfit because I literally just finished recording Monday's video, but since I have a unexpected crap short paycheck day off, we're taking advantage of that and recording some stuff. So, the first prompt is books I'm not reading. I like that name. That is just asking to go, hey, you don't know about this and I should try it. And so that one is a book that's been on your TBR forever. This was on the second shelf of my TBR bookcase that has 5 shelves. So yeah, it's been on there for a while, and it's on the back row that is 2 rows deep with a few, trinkets and little like books laying this way instead of this way to fit a third row. So yeah, that's quite a bit. And ooh, I need to get some glue going because this has junk where a sticker used to be, and I don't like it. And so does the book underneath it. But it's Douglas Preston, the Kraken Project. And I love the story, for the most part, the Pendergast series that he does with Lincoln Child. I've tried 2 others by him on his own and was not a fan, so I might not end up liking this one, which is why it's been sitting there forever. As I got it before I had realized that I didn't really like his solo stuff. Plus, it's got a thing as chilling as it is provocative. Preston at his finest. James Rollins, New York Times bestselling author of The Eye of God. And if y'all been following me for a while, you know I love me some James Rollins. So this isn't actually a proper TBR because I already know I'm going to break it. Because I pre-ordered a book by one of my very limited must-have authors, James Rollins. And it's coming August 6th, so I'm going to be dropping everything and reading that the second it comes in. And hopefully no, I think that's usually like a Tuesday. Darn. Because, yeah, do not disturb me when a James Rollins or Christopher Moore novel arrives, or I will shank you. I am not to be disturbed. I have waited too long for the next one. So, yeah, I don't really remember what this is about. Let's see. NASA is building a probe to be splashed down in the Kraken Mare, the largest sea on Saturn's great moon, Titan. It's one of the most promising habitats for extraterrestrial life in the solar system. What you doing, big girl? I can feel the couch bouncing as a cutie came to join me. And I think there might be a fly flying around. She's like, I'm gonna get it. But she's a big girl. When she snaps, you can feel her. She doesn't just bark, she like bounces. Because she barks and does everything from the gut. And that's 80 pounds of gut going, argh. So, yeah. And I've lost my train of thought, but yep, this has been on the TBR forever. We will give it a shot. Yep, here she goes. I don't know if you caught that one. You gonna get it, big girl. Okay. What was the next one? Novel idea, a book with an interesting premise or plot device. And some of y'all might recognize this one. It is fairly popular. And it was part of my, year-long 5 books that I really want to finish the series of at the beginning of the year. And it's All of Our Demise. This is the second book in the All of Us Villains duology. And isn't it pretty? It's a like teenage dystopian, but the last book actually ended it kind of hopeful. Basically, these teenagers from these magical families are pitted against each other because there's not much magic left in the world, and whoever like wins this thing every 7 years, their family gets to have this super powerful magic, and that's what all those rings are. Is like you got magic like curses and stuff in those gems. So it ended with, hey, maybe we should stop murdering everybody and, you know, find a way to like save magic or figure out how to live without it instead of let's turn our children into murderers. So, but of course, hey, they've been raised to off, each other since day one. For the glory, I get to be the one that offs everybody else. So, yeah, I find that very interesting, and we'll get to that eventually. Oh, did you wake up from your nap, little man? There's a cutie that just woke up and looks confused. Come here. You can make it over the crevice. Come here. Oh, maybe. So, now y'all get the puppies that you're really here for. Yes, it was a good boy. Was that a good nappy nap? Well, your sister looks like she's gonna fall asleep on the footstool. And you're not fully awake, are you? Good boy. Yes, that's my good boy. My little man. Okay. Revenant Reads, a book where someone has returned from the dead. I don't remember at all what this is about, but Zombies Sold Separately by Cheyenne McCrae. I have never heard of this author, but zombies definitely came back from the dead. And that just sounds really cool. Not the most intriguing cover. I mean, we got humans and she's holding a sword, but I don't know. I got it from my favorite used bookstore for like $3, and that seemed kind of interesting. It says Nyx hates zombies. Seriously, hates zombies. Ever since she was a youngling, she's been haunted by them. And even though she's a big girl now, a half human, half drow private eye to be precise. And as somebody who has played a D&D knockoff game on PlayStation, all I can think of is those evil, like, somewhat spidery dark elves when I hear drow. So, kind of cool, kind of geeky. Nyx bristles at the mere thought of the Walking Dead. Meanwhile, the corpse of humans and paranorms alike are turning up all over New York City. Now it's up to Nyx to find out who, or what, is behind this series of horrific attacks. But it's only a matter of time before she is drawn deeper into her darkest fear, and her worst nightmare about meeting a real, flesh and blood hungry, body snatching zombie coming blindingly to life. Or death. There's only one blankie here, little man. You can't go under it. You won't be sandwiched. And I know, Mommy had to wash all the blankies and all the towels after that horrific bath day over the weekend. And you're still traumatized. And yes, it's out of the dryer, but I haven't, redone the whole couch yet. So you're just going to survive and snuggle with Mama. So yeah, that's for my Revenant Reads monster. And the next is CriminOlly, a book where a crime takes place. And I actually follow him. He's really cool. And so, murder's a crime, JD Robb, treachery, and death. And this is all like futuristic. I don't know what year this takes. Fine. It's a good thing you're clean, so you're not gonna get the couch smelly. Gotta tuck in the little man. I know I gotta put the other blankie because How dare you not be on something soft? But this is basically Eve Dallas in New York in like 2058, 2063. Somewhere in there is, I think, where they all take place so far. Is it gonna tell me? No, it does not. So I don't know when this one takes place, but sometime futuristic where, all your foods and stuff are fake and guns no longer exist. Now you get killed by like lasers and things. And she's all badass and married to a former criminal who is still slightly off the books, super rich Irish dude. It is a little spicy, not very much. It's not like fade to black off the page, but it's not particularly explicit either. So, mildly romance, a lot of attitudes, murder mystery. I love these, but once I've read them once, I'm like, well, now I know who the killer is and what they did. And so I very rarely buy these, but it was, again, I think, oh, this wasn't even a used bookstore. This was the antique store in town that had a book stall spot. So for $2, I'm picking that because my library got them. And this next one almost stumped me. It's Book Time with Elvis, a book about time, time travel, or someone named Elvis. And I was going to do this for an interesting premise, but there's time travel in it, so that's what I had to go with. This could have also been the first one of It's Been on there forever. I don't remember when I got this. That's how long it's been there. It's Mammoth by John Varley. Not content with investing his fortune and watching it grow, multi-billionaire Howard Christian buys rare cars that he actually drives, acquires collectible toys that he actually plays with, and builds buildings that defy the imagination. But now his restless mind has turned to a new obsession: cloning a mammoth. In a barren province of Canada, a mammoth hunter financed by Christian has made the discovery of a lifetime: an intact frozen woolly mammoth. What he finds during the painstaking process of excavating the huge creature baffles the mind. Huddled next to the mammoth is the mummified body of a Stone Age man around 12,000 years old, and he's wearing a wristwatch. Looks like Howard Christian is going to get his wish and more. So we got time travel. That, and for 50 cents, that is the right price. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, that is a 50-cent book. That is my price. So honestly, this might have come from that going out of business store in New Mexico, in which case this is at least 6 years old. I have no idea anymore. It's been there a while. So, middle of the book March. Your favorite book that you read in March. I couldn't pick just one once I went through my Goodreads and went, which books did I read in March? And nobody will be surprised by either of these. So, of course, these didn't come off the TBR because I had to read them 4 months ago. Or, well, okay, 3, because it could have been the last day of March, and we're only a little bit into July. But House of Roots and Ruin! Yeah, I did a whole video on. Y'all need to read this so that we can discuss it, because it's so freaking good! And I only know one person on Booktube that has read this. I need more of y'all. But this is actually a sequel. House of Salt and Sorrow was the first one. And I guess it's like a really dark telling of 12 dancing princesses or something like that. A fairy tale that I actually don't know. And this follows up on that where, our character who can like see ghosts has gone off to get married. With, she's supposed to stay home forever because she's going to embarrass herself. And the family, when people find out that prim proper rich daughter sees ghosts like a common creeper. That's probably on something and not really saying anything. She's cursed. She'll bring curses to everyone. And that's how part of this family that she goes to, live with treats her. Namely Granny that needs to be put in a home and hopefully it's abusive and she's forgotten because she's terrible. But yes, it is like she's an artist and Franny, you missed the fly. It just tried to get me. You forgot to eat it. I know we have a cat, but you know, he doesn't know how to cat. He kind of sucks at it. We don't know how to dog either. JB doesn't know how to get pets. He demands them and then tries to, you for trying to pet him. Oh yeah, did you just make a snap under the blankie? I don't think you got that, little man, but I heard that mouth. So it's dark, it's violet, it's creepy, it's atmospheric, and like honestly, the setting is somewhere I would love to go because it's freaking beautiful, even if it is an island. So death to redheads. And the last book off of a series that I was determined to finish this year, The One Impossible Labyrinth by Matthew Riley. It's the last book in the Jack West Jr. series. And it's just freaking nonstop action, and I love it. There are parts of it that were stupid, because he kept like, oh, we're gonna die, but just kidding. We're not, because we like this character. And that freaking, I'm going to burn it with fire, except for it's probably gonna land on me before I manage to do that. Stupid fly. But, yeah, I love that series. It's so good. But if he's gonna pretend that like he knows all this science, he needs to know science and not go, yeah, this is how water works. Except for that's not how water freaking works in that one scene. But other than that, I love it. But don't try to explain water to the scientists. You're doing it wrong. That's not how you use it to get out of death. But other than that, it's just action packed, just nonstop. It's kind of like a Michael Bay movie, but without all the explosions. Though there are some explosions. So the boyfriend complains of there's no plot. It's just fights and blowing stuff up. Yeah, what's your point? I'm not seeing the bad thing here. Book Buds, a book with a great friendship. And again, I couldn't go off the TBR because how do I know if there's a great friendship if I've never read it before? So, though this is on the TBR bookcase because it used to be a TBR, but it's one of the authors that I love, so I had to get it and then I had to read it. It's $1 Million Demon by Kim Harrison from the Hollow series that was ended at book 13 and then came back. Oh, yeah, see, I knew you were going to do that. You don't like being tucked in, not between blankies. He has tucked himself in, or tried to. Yep, there's his little butt. He only got front end tucked in. And I just, hopefully this has been recording because it just went nope and dinked off. And I had to turn it back on. Hopefully I can combine these two and it wasn't doing something stupid. But yeah, this is about Rachel, the redheaded demon witch, and Jinx, the awesome freaking pixie who his version of insults and cusses is trashing Tinkerbell and occasionally humans, but mostly Tinkerbell because he freaking hates fairies, which is weird because he's a pixie, but in the book they act like she's not a pixie. She's a, which I could have sworn like there's a thing that's Pixie Hollow, so I don't know if she's a pixie or a fairy, but as far as he's concerned, she's a fairy, and the only reason people like him is because Disney helped her out, but they're the worst, and so like he insults her and her underwear and her toys and a few other things. And even though he's like, this tall and looks like Peter Pan when he poses because he's angry, do not underestimate him. He will off you, especially if you mess with his favorite, witchy. So, yep. They all live together. The vampire Ivy, who's not quite dead yet, so she's a daywalker. And it's so freaking good. Yeah, it's a good series. Jinx is my favorite part, though. By far, if you can't tell. A book that you love that never gets talked about. Well, I could go with anything by this author because he is, again, one of my favorites. And pretty much like a litmus test for me. Like, if you like Christopher Moore, we good. If you don't know him, you gonna have to learn. Because, oh my god. Christopher Moore! Nothing by him gets talked about, but Razzmatazz. This is the second book in his noir series, which is exactly what it sounds like. 50s, like, noir detective. But Christopher Moore style. Like, you can't really see it here, but there's a dragon. And that is not a frog. That is an alien hand. So, yep, there are dragons and aliens. And the start of this book is the triads actually aren't the bad guys. They've gotten, screwed over. They started out as like the good guys. And he is just that good that it will crack you up. And he can make the triads be the good guys of the series. And the protectors, and yeah. But if you have a problem with foul language and really weird stuff, he is one of those you either absolutely love him because he has a weird sense of humor, or, you've grown up and you have like a normal person sense of humor and then you won't like him. But I freaking love him. Like, I think the only thing that I've only ever read by him once is Sacre Blue. He has also a book called Lamb that a couple people have read, and it cracks me up because there's some religious schools that teach it and a lot that have banned it as blasphemy. Then there's a copy of it that looks like a leather bound Bible, and I really want to get it because it will like mess with my friend so bad. She's super duper religious, and I am not. We have known each other for over 20 years. She has been trying to get me to be religious, and no. I've gone to church a couple times for her, but no. And it would freak her out to see that and think that I bought a nice Bible when really it's yeah, it's not. But yeah, anything by this man does not get enough attention, and I love him. And he needs to write faster. That is my only complaint about him. And I need more Sophie. She is my favorite character. Her and her goggies, aka hellhounds. Yep, I need them. But if all we can have is Shakespeare, I will take more Shakespeare. That is my favorite way to read Shakespeare. Is his, shagging, foul mouthed, the jester does all, version of it, and I love it. So, yep. Read more Christopher Moore. A book with a monster, or Savage Reads, a book with a monster or beast or human acting monstrously or beastly. And this one I blame on CriminOlly. Anno Dracula by Kim Newman. And I'm hoping this is way better than the one that I read as a short story by her. Because I was all excited because he seemed to really like this one, and I've seen it on one or two other channels too. But his is the first one and the one that comes to mind. But, I mean, it's about Dracula. That's a monster. The year is 1888, and Queen Victoria has a new consort, Prince Vlad Tepes, known throughout Europe as Count Dracula. The age of the vampire has arrived, an era of pomp and decadence, oppression and unrelenting bloodshed. As, one by one, the British elite freely abandon their humanity and actively seek the dark kiss of eternal youth. But as all London is hideously transformed, a ripper stalks the night streets of Whitechapel, preying on vampire girls who sell their bodies for blood and silver. Wait, is this Jack the Ripper meets vampires? This better be better than the short story that was far too 80s for my taste. Even though I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s. So this sounds really good. Like it might sort of be kind of vibing of Anne Rice. And I could do with some more Anne Rice vampires. Love. That was my first ever vampire. Was Interviewed the Vampire at like 12 or 13. And a book that fits your own channel name or the name of a channel that you love. This works on so many levels. Again, another comparison novel from the series, Pale Demon. Because have you ever known a ginger that isn't pale? I mean, a real one, not a bottle one. We're real. We're pale. And I've definitely been a soulless demon or a witch. And actually, my redheaded Rachel loves reading, so I can vibe with her. We're redhead. We will mess you up if you mess with our friends. Like, we make bad decisions a lot of times, take a while to learn. Because we gotta make sure it's not just a one-off. Like, we gotta screw up a couple times and go, yep, that's definitely the problem. It wasn't just a fluke that it didn't work. So she makes her bad decisions, She's a pasty ginger that, definitely has her bad boy times, but she loves books. So I am so Rachel, and I love this one. And the last prompt is just tag some other booktubers. Well, this tag is like a month old now that I'm finally getting to it, so I don't know who hasn't done it at this point. Is that I was tagged by 3 different people. And yeah. So if you see this and you haven't done it yet, and you think it sounds fun, you're tagged. Go for it. And make sure to tag me so that I can watch your, video and see what your answers are. Cause I'm curious. I mean, I am a cat after all. And you can't be leaving me curious. Or are you trying to off me? Come on. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that, and I will see you soon. Bye. Happy reading.